The email arrived at 3:14 a.m. Clara was jolted awake by the soft ping of her laptop. She had been working late into the night, her eyes heavy with exhaustion, but the sound was unmistakable. It was an email, and at this hour it could only mean one thing, something important. A single line glowed on Clara's screen. She squinted at the brightness, her heart pounding with a mix of curiosity and dread. What could it be this time? No subject, no sender name. It was as if the message had materialized out of thin air, a ghostly whisper in the digital void, just a string of nonsensical characters. G90 #8 L% JGAT and 2K. It was clearly encrypted. Clara's pulse quickened. She had seen encrypted messages before, but this one felt different, more urgent.
This is no ordinary spam. Clara's instincts told her that this was something far more sinister. She had to find out what it meant. This is a mystery begging to be solved. Clara's mind raced with possibilities. Who could have sent this, and why?
Clara, an investigative journalist known for her relentless pursuit of truth, had faced many challenges in her career. But this felt different. It was as if the message was calling out to her, daring her to uncover its secrets, felt a surge of adrenaline. She took a sip of her cold coffee, the bitter taste grounding her in the moment. She knew she had to act fast, her mind already racing. This felt different, bigger. The encrypted message was a puzzle, and Clara loved puzzles. She thrived on the thrill of the chase, the satisfaction of piecing together clues. She had to know more. She couldn't let this go. The message was a challenge, and Clara never backed down from a challenge.
This has to be linked to my latest investigation, the story on that corrupt tech firm. Clara had been digging into the shady dealings of a powerful tech company, and she had a feeling this message was connected. Subtle threats before, but this is bolder, more direct. The tech firm had tried to intimidate her before, but this felt like a direct challenge. Is this a warning, or something else? Clara's mind raced with questions. She knew she had to find out.
This message, hidden beneath layers of encryption, was a key that could unlock a bigger story, a story that could expose the truth and bring justice. Held the key, a key that could unlock a bigger story, a dangerous truth. Clara knew she couldn't ignore it. She had to follow the trail, no matter where it led, a dangerous truth. Clara knew she couldn't ignore it. She had to decipher it. The encrypted message was a challenge, and Clara was ready to take it on. She had to decipher it. With a determined look, Clara began to type, her fingers flying over the keyboard. She was ready to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The encrypted message mocked her, each symbol a taunt. It was as if the code itself was laughing at her attempts to break it. Clara had faced many challenges in her career, but this one felt different. It was personal, almost as if the creator of this encryption knew her every move. Clara tried her usual methods, online decryption tools, common ciphers, nothing. She spent hours scouring the internet, looking for any clue that might help her crack the code. She even reached out to a few colleagues, but they were just as baffled as she was. This was sophisticated, professionally done. She needed help. Clara knew she was out of her depth. The encryption was unlike anything she had ever seen before. It was almost as if it was designed to be unbreakable.
Elliot! The name echoed in her mind. He was a legend in the world of digital security, a ghost who could crack any code. He's the only one who can crack this. Clara felt a glimmer of hope. If anyone could help her, it was Elliot. But finding him was another matter entirely.
Her mind went to Elliot, a renowned digital security expert, almost a myth in the cyber world. He was known for his ability to solve the unsolvable, to break the unbreakable, but he was also known for his reclusiveness. He was her only hope. Clara knew that reaching out to him was a long shot, but she had no other choice. She had to try. Elliot was known for his reclusiveness, his disdain for the limelight. He operated in the shadows, away from the prying eyes of the public. His work was legendary, but his presence was almost non-existent. Getting to him was a challenge in itself. Clara remembered the brief encounter they had at a cybersecurity conference a few months back. It was a fleeting moment, but it left a lasting impression on her. Clara had met him briefly at a cybersecurity conference a few months back. She had been in awe of his presence, even though he had barely spoken a word. She remembered his sharp eyes, his quiet intensity. There was something about him that commanded respect, even in his silence. He wasn't someone who offered help easily. Clara knew that asking for his assistance would be difficult, but she had no other option. But she had to try. Taking a deep breath, Clara prepared herself to reach out to the one person who could help her solve this cryptic puzzle. Clara found his contact, a burner email address only whispered among trusted circles. It was a long shot, but she had to take it. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, the weight of her request heavy.
Elliot, need your expertise. Encrypted message. Urgent.
The email sent. Doubt crept in. Would he even respond? Minutes stretched into an hour. No response. Clara's hope dwindled. She paced her apartment, the encrypted message burning in her mind. Just as she was about to give up, her phone buzzed. An unknown number. Her heart pounded. Taking a deep breath, she answered.
Hello?
Clara?
The voice was gruff, hesitant. It was Elliot. Clara's pulse quickened.
You got my message.
Silence, then a sigh.
I don't do decoding favors.
This is different, Elliot. It's important. It could be dangerous.
More silence. The tension was palpable.
Tell me.
Elliot's voice was softer now, intrigued. Clara explained everything. The email, the encryption, her suspicions about the tech firm. As she spoke, she could sense a shift in Elliot. His initial reluctance gave way to a cautious curiosity. He was a digital guardian, drawn to challenges, to protecting the vulnerable. And right now, Clara, with her encrypted message and her unwavering determination, was feeling vulnerable. Elliot listened intently, analyzing.
This encryption, it's complex, military grade.
Clara's suspicions were confirmed. This was serious.
But it's also familiar.
He paused as if piecing together a puzzle in his mind.
I might know who's behind it.
Elliot's voice was a low murmur, filled with a mixture of apprehension and grim satisfaction. This was his world, the dark underbelly of the internet. He knew its secrets, its players, and it seemed like this message was connected to someone he knew, someone he had encountered in the past.
We need to meet. This could be bigger than we think.
Midnight, the Clock Tower Cafe. Elliot's instructions were clipped, precise, no room for negotiation. Clara agreed. They both knew the risks. Meeting like this, in the dead of night, it felt clandestine, dangerous. But the mystery of the encrypted message, the possibility of uncovering a larger truth, fueled their determination.
The cafe was deserted. Only the lone figure of a barista wiping down counters disturbed the silence.
Clara chose a table in the darkest corner, her nerves on edge. She scanned the street, every shadow a potential threat. Elliot was late. Minutes ticked by like hours. Doubt gnawed at her. Was this a trap? The bell above the cafe door jingled, a familiar sound that signaled the arrival of a new patron. The cozy atmosphere of the cafe was momentarily disturbed as the door swung open, letting in a gust of cool air. A man stepped in, his face hidden under a hooded jacket. The hood cast a shadow over his features, making him appear mysterious and somewhat enigmatic to the casual observer. He moved with a quiet confidence, his eyes scanning the room with a practiced ease. It was clear he was no stranger to such environments, his demeanor calm and collected. When he spotted Clara, a flicker of recognition crossed his face. It was subtle, but enough to show that he had found who he was looking for. He lowered his hood, revealing sharp features and intense, intelligent eyes. It was Elliot. His presence seemed to command attention, even in the bustling cafe.
He was younger than she imagined, but his eyes held a wisdom beyond his years. There was something about him that suggested he had seen and experienced more than most his age. He moved with a quiet intensity, his gaze sharp and assessing. Every step he took seemed deliberate, as if he was always calculating his next move.
He sat down opposite her, his movements economical, precise. There was no wasted effort, no unnecessary gestures. It was as if he had rehearsed this moment in his mind countless times.
Clara, you weren't followed? Her voice was tinged with concern, her eyes darting around the room as if expecting someone to appear at any moment.
His tone was serious, professional. There was an underlying urgency in his voice, a sense that time was of the essence. He exuded an aura of quiet capability, of someone who operated in the shadows, a protector of digital secrets. His presence was both reassuring and intimidating, a paradox that made him all the more intriguing.
No, I don't think so.
Elliot nodded, his gaze unwavering.
Good, this stays between us, understood?
Clara felt a shiver run down her spine. This was real, dangerous. She nodded, her resolve hardening.
I need to see the message.
Clara took out her phone, the encrypted message glowing on the screen like a beacon in the dimly lit cafe. Elliot leaned in, his eyes scanning the string of characters. A tense silence fell between them, broken only by the soft hum of the cafe's refrigerator.
It's him, he's back.
Who?
Fear pricked at Clara's skin, her heart pounded in her chest.
Someone I thought I'd never see again.
He paused, his gaze distant, haunted.
We need to be careful. If he's involved, this goes deeper than we thought.
Clara nodded, her mind racing. They were walking into a minefield, a digital labyrinth with deadly consequences.
I'm setting up a VPN. We need to mask our location, make sure we're not being tracked.
The air crackled with tension. They were two players in a high-stakes game, their fates intertwined by a single encrypted message. The game had just begun.